So I'm not going to lie, I was reading this by myself, and when I started reading it, I had to make a video about it. This is the PTR patch notes, and let me tell you, I got through very little of it, and I was absolutely freaking out. There was a couple changes I really wanted, and they're in the PTR, so let's go ahead and look at them. This is going to be an absolute meta changer, game changer. This, and I'm not even kidding you, changes everything. I mean, I can't wait. We're going to get into it because if you can't tell, I am so excited. So we're just going to scroll down through a lot of these. We're going to the PvP changes. We're going to the combat changes, I should say, because that's what we really care about. That's the big meat and potatoes here. So we have a new heart rune ability. We don't know what it is. It looks really cool from the pictures that I've seen. It is a fire kick. Not much to say about that. We're getting a new one. Mitigation formula. This is where it's going to really start to kick in. This is where you're going to really start to see some huge, possibly game changer things. This isn't even what I'm talking about or what I got really excited about. So you have updated PvP damage mitigation formula to better scale mitigation across a variety of players' gear scores. That just means gear scaling may be better or worse. We'll see. Then we have a change to Fortify and Rend to directly scale the player's armor rating. Increased Fortify and Rend caps to account for these changes. Which, I mean, this is huge, right? Now, it's just Fortify and Rend. So you're like, okay, we'll see. But here's where we're going to start getting into the big things. So we have critical hits. Change critical damage calculated to be additive instead of multiplicative. Okay. And then it says, we adjusted critical hit chance to no longer increase by your total critical hit chance for every non-critical hit that occurs. Now the chance will only increase by the base weapon hit crit chance for each non-critical hit that is triggered. So if you didn't know, essentially New World is if you don't crit, you don't crit, you don't crit. It basically, to my knowledge, adds up the chances and continues to add the chances for you to crit until you can basically just go ahead and crit. Now this actually hurts, in my opinion, weapons. Well, this is a good change for weapons that have a high base critical, but probably a worse chance for people, the ones that don't. Just because the ones that don't, you could always get a guaranteed crit every now and again, where if you have a high base critical chance, you're critting most of the time anyway, like let's say mage weapons, right? So this is a pretty big change, but it doesn't stop there. So increase the base critical hit chance on Fire Staff, Void Gauntlet, and Ice Gauntlet by 6%, which is absolutely massive. And then on the bow by 2% and all other weapons by 4%. And I imagine the bows, because we get so much guaranteed crit anyways, and bow has a lot of crit chance, so that's not a big deal. So that's really awesome. I mean, we're getting a whole change. The crit is getting changed. So we'll see. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And then we have, of course, the PvP enemy persistent spell visual effects. This is added visuals for enemy players' persistent spells that appear on the ground. The volume to differentiate them from friendly spells. They said this is going to be basically like a red aura around them. And again, we have some big changes. We have change bonuses that increased outgoing CC status effects duration and target to be reduced incoming now, which I think is absolutely great. So we have heavy equip load incoming, crowd control debuffs, 20% reduced duration. That is a huge buff to heavy armor. You don't need nearly as many pieces of freedom to basically walk around and never be stunned. And then we have a medium equip load by 10% reduction as well. So these are pretty big, but the next one is something that I said I wanted. I've been kind of complaining about this for a while, and this is an absolute like insane game changer. People are going to be ticked off about this. If you recently spent $2 million on a weapon, I'm sorry, but you may have just, I don't say wasted your money, because you didn't, but yeah. They moved the 300 strength attribute bonus to be the 300 con bonus and updated the functionality of the strength attribute bonus to grant increased base damage on heavy attacks. Now, I don't particularly like this last change right here. This means greatsword, yes, gonna go brrr. Like, I mean, that's a huge buff to greatsword, because the greatsword doesn't really need thwarting, which is the reason why this is good, but it is still a nerf. Because if they're running a not 300 con, they just don't have infinite grit. They just don't have the ability to not be like staggered and stuff like that. So this is a buff and a nerf to the greatsword, but then a nerf to all other strength builds essentially. So this is an absolute massive thing. Now I haven't read past that, but as soon as I saw that, I said I gotta get a video out. This fixed an issue with dodge rolling, going prone and then dodge rolling again that provides significant mobility. Fixed an issue where the 200 strength and 250 act dex and strength passives here bonuses were not consistently applying the damage bonus while some slows were activated. Good. Updated magic weapon heavy attack buffers to be more reliable. Fixed an issue that where you could perform attacks with the wrong weapon by spamming the attack swap inputs. Okay. We're just gonna skip down through here's for this general. Fix an issue where road buffs could be granted, fishing actions, fix the number of spells that were consuming their ability, updated tooltips, fix spell targeting indicators, fix issue where toggle abilities wouldn't be canceled, player collision. Is now been disabled when entering death animation and P. Okay. Added text flyouts. They added a 50% max to the exhaust and increased stamina regen status rate. So that's interesting. I didn't know. I guess maybe you could just get over exhausted. So that's a good change. Spell aiming indicators. Okay. So weapon updates. Here we go. Taunts added a taunt gem capability in several weapons and abilities to create an additional choices for tanking. Calamity counter. I like that. Mighty gavel, Maelstrom, Cyclone, Incinerate. Dude, I used to tank in Gen with Fire Staff. It was pretty fun. So I think that's going to be a fun tanking weapon. Wind Chill, which is fun. Putrefying Scream, which makes a lot of sense, but except for you can't block on it. But that could be an interesting thing. And Blast Shot. Okay, cool. Magic weapons removed mana cost on all magic weapon light attacks. Let's go. Oh, thank you. That is, I mean, we don't have a really big problem with magic, but I just love that now we don't have to worry about, basic attacking on the Void Gauntlet, or even the Ice Gauntlet. So now we can just, if you don't have any mana, don't have any potions up, or don't have the ability to get it, you can just light attack and you'll be good. Crowd control balance. So here we go. Reviewed all weapons to make a more clear differentiates between attacks that are intended to be crowd control and attacks that are meant for damage. Remove stagger from damage focused abilities and reduce damage for stagger focused abilities. Ooh, this could be a huge nerf to Greatsword. The Greatsword has a lot of staggers, and their staggers are also hard hitting abilities. So I imagine this is a big update and a big nerf to the Greatsword, which everybody will be loved to see. All right. Oh, we're going to go over some of them right here. So shockwave damage reduced from 80% to 60%. That's probably good. Wrecking ball damage reduced from 130 to 90%. I mean, we are just, the 300 strength users, watch out. Clear out damage reduced. We really don't care about that. Path to Destiny reduced. That's a big one. Well, I mean, I guess it's not that big. I mean, it's used, but not used as much. I mean, that's a big nerf to the Warhammer. I don't know if the Warhammer necessarily needed it, but for war purposes, this is going to make, Greatsword Warhammer. I mean, this might not be the meta anymore, which I'm okay with. It's okay to shake up the meta. All right, here we go. Sword and Shield. Shield Bash, Intimidating Bash, damage reduced from 100 to 75%. That's fine. We really don't use it for damage. Shield Rush, same thing. Getting a 25% nerf, which is fine. Shield Rush improved. Rush weakness increased from 10 to 20. Okay, Leaping Strike damage reduced. That's a pretty big one. Leaping Strike was a lot of damage, but again, I'm okay with it. Reverse Stab no longer staggers. Okay, no one uses that crappy ability anyway. I've seen a couple people use it, but honestly, it's not a good ability. So we have Spear. Javelin gets a huge hit. Perforate's final upgrade impact strike no longer staggers. It was reworked to inflict a stack weaken. Oh, okay. Oh wow, that's actually huge. I mean, now the Spear has a ton of weaken on. I mean, that's probably a bigger change to PvE than PvP. I mean, obviously the PvP change, I mean, the no stagger is interesting, but now we have double weakened on the Spear. You can just keep things weakened cap on Spear. I actually like that. You can get them basically weakened cap and rendered cap. So Spear, nice little PvE buff there. I don't know if it really needed it, but yeah. Sweep knockdown attack damage reduced from 75 to 45. So that's actually pretty decent, but I mean, let's be honest, it wasn't that much damage anyway. the second part of it still hits pretty hard, so pretty big. Here we go. Greatsword. I said it's getting a nerf, and as you can see, it definitely, holy crap, is it. Claiming counter damage reduced 100 to 80%. Nobody uses that ability. Steadfast Strike. This is a big one. First attack damage reduced by 30%, which is massive. This is your catch tool. This is, it does quite a bit of damage. And then we have Skyward Slash, first attack reduced. Again, 2 tools that people use on Greatsword for that, you know, the catch build. And the probably the best build out there right now for Greatsword. Now you're still going to be able to use, you know, maybe more of the tanky side for it to, you know, get some of the just straight tankiness, but maybe the light schizo version might not be nearly as good, but we will see. Flourish and Finish no longer staggers. This is a huge nerf to some bow players. Flurry's final upgrade finalization no longer staggers and was reworked to apply a stack of bleed used by the rest. Oh, this is actually massive. This is a massive buff to especially its PvE side. Yeah, this is a good upgrade. This is a really good upgrade. This is a pretty big, maybe Flourish and Finish, maybe something you can use in a PvE build. Now, this will be interesting to see. You can run like an Evade, Flourish and Finish, Flurry stack. We'll have to, well, no, you guys still run Tondo. So you'd run just the full left side of the tree. This will be interesting to play with. So we're going to see. Rape's first hit reduced by 10%. Not really much there. Oh, we got some stick Gravity Well nerf. Oh my God, look at the Gravity Well nerf. Gravity Well upward melee swing damage reduced by 74%. Holy crap. Gravity Well Vortex burst damage reduced by 25%. Sensational Gravity Well reduced by 50%. This is a massive nerf to Great Axe. Great Axe not only got a nerf to its just strength, 300 strength passive, now gets a massive Gravity Well nerf in its damage side. Is it still going to be good? Yes, Gravity Well is still an insanely good ability, but this is, I mean, we may find a meta where it's not just 20 Great Axe in Warhammer. So this is pretty massive. I mean, absolutely massive changes here. Is it going to bring it out of the meta? Probably not. Gravity Well's just straight crowd control is something that we just don't really have a whole lot in the game. So Gravity Well just is essentially the ability that makes it so people can't straight battle ball without being at least semi-tanky. So we're going to see, that's a massive change, and I'm excited to see how this shakes out. Hatchet Feral Rush first attack damage reduced. That's, you know, it is what it is. Don't really have a particular opinion on it. Evade Shot damage reduced by, what is that? 35%, which is big. And then Rapid Shot no longer staggers. Both good changes. People don't use Evade Shot really much of anymore, but people always use Rapid Shot. They don't, you know, I mean, it's hit or miss whether you use all 3 Rapid Shots or not, but I like this. And I always thought it was kind of weird that the 3rd shot staggered. So interesting. And stopping power damage reduced by 30%. Okay. Ice Gauntlet, Ice Spike, Mighty Spike no longer staggers, which is good. Scream damage reduced by 30%, which is understandable. We have some blunderbuss changes here. Fix an issue that caused players to get into a bad state when entering the menu. Indicator for loadout shots now counts down correctly. Fix an issue where additional shots could be fired with animation canceling. With the blunderbuss mortar charge ability. Okay. Fix an issue where activating mortar charge or swapping weapons to give the player an extra basic attack. So interesting. No big things here. Then we have bow ability updates. Penetrating shot, deep strike upgrade, reduce damage from 20 to 15%. Okay, a little bit of a, actually it's pretty decent sized damage nerf there on pen shot. Long range passive reduced by 5%. Opening strike passive reduced by 10%. And finishing shot passive reduced by 15% or by 5%. So this is a 5, 10, 15% base bow damage nerf. This is a pretty big nerf on penetrating shot. We'll have to see if Mortal Empowerment gets kind of nerfed. This could basically make it to where you like bows are pretty lackluster. We'll have to see though. I mean, that's a lot of getting a quadruple nerf on bow mixed with, I don't really, I mean, obviously these are all nerfs up here, but kind of most of the weapons in the game are getting a nerf. So I kind of take those out. But yeah, it will be interesting to see. I mean, this is just these right here is a massive nerf to bow, and then this is a pretty big. It might not. You might be like 5%. That's not big, but that's a stacking. That's a stat. If I remember correctly, this is the passive that your penetrating shot gets more damage as it goes through enemies. So this is a stacking buff. So it's not only 5%. You lose 5% on each one of its upgrades. So we'll have to see. I'm interested to see it. It could be still fine, but bow is a weapon that if it doesn't do cracked out damage, it's just basically unusable. So we'll have to see because it has no utility. All right, Fire Staff. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, I said this. Let's go. Fire Staff meta incoming. All right, Pillar of Fire increased the size of AoE from 2 to 2.5 meters. I said they needed to increase it. Reduce the time it took to trigger the attack from aiming from 13 frames. So we're cutting the frames down in half, removed a 3-frame delay from the attack that casted the, oh yes, let's go, and reduced damage from 170 to 165, which is just fine. So it's gonna do less damage, it's gonna be higher AoE, and it's going to be faster, which is amazing. Fire Strike upgrade. I don't remember what this, I think this is one where you get hit. Change condition from being based on target HP, dealing 5% base damage per stack of smolder on the target. Named change. Oh, so this is going to do a change condition from being based on target HP, but doing 5% damage per stack. Okay, I like that. Increased mana gain amount by, bro, we don't care. We don't care about the mana on the Fire Staff. The ultimates. Okay, there's a lot of changes here, so who knows? All right, Meteor Shower. Updated this ability to channel for 1 second and cast the ability. Spell will remain active on the world. Oh, yes, dude, Fire Staff meta incoming. You heard it first. Fire Staff is getting a huge buff. This is, guys, you want fire. If there's a change in here to Burnout that makes it quicker, Fire Staff. I mean, I just bought Abyss Fire Staff the other day, so I am absolutely thrilled. Mage Parfax incoming to New World very soon. All right, update the ability channel. We said that. Increased damage of initial hit from 75% to 100% makes sense. That's basically the only way you really wanted to use it now, other than to just stat pad. Update the status effect to tick at once per second instead of once every 0.75 seconds, understandably, because of the first change. Increase the damage ticks while inside from 25 to 50% weapon damage. Let's go. Updated the mana to be all consumed at once upon activation. This is an upgrade to Meteor Shower. Yes, 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 yes. And then Immolate upgrade, increased mana gain per hit from 1 to 3%. Judgment of Helios upgrade. We needed a Helios upgrade. Change functionality to be hitting targets inside the Meteor Shower effect with light or heavy attacks will inflict a stack of smolder. So change functionality to be hitting targets inside the, okay. Oh, that's okay. Is Judgment, hold on, let's look up, hold on, before we go, I'm gonna look up New World Judgment of Helios. So all right. Okay, so this is the, it's just inside, looks like the, it's an upgrade to Meteor Shower. Yeah, so it looks like it's an upgrade. So this is one of the passives in there. So where was it here? Judgment of Helios. So essentially when you put it on there, you're going to inflict a stack of smolder with light and heavy attacks. And that's kind of cool. A little bit of damage nerf, but we're getting a bunch of damage buffs here. A little bit of nerf, a little bit of buff. I love the change. Meteor Shower is going to be meta. Just calling it out here. All right, dude, I'm loving the Fire Staff. Everybody's like, you hate the Fire Staff. I'm like, no, I don't hate the Fire Staff. This is actually probably a good thing for PvE too, by the way. Actually, it's a massive thing for PvE. This is a massive buff for PvE. This is, I mean, you're going to be able to run like Meteor Shower, Fireball, and Flamethrower, and that's going to be massive, massive damage. So great update. All right, so we have some Fireball changes, so we'll see. All right, sorry, I'm super excited. Fire Determination upgrade moved upgrade to be final upgrade of Meteor Shower. This force respect the Fire Staff Master Tree. Okay. Fireball. Updated this ability to no longer leave a burning AoE behind impact. It wasn't really that big of a thing anyway. Damage is now focused on the impact. On the impact and small. This is an upgrade to Fireball for sure. Increased attack damage from 140 to 150%. Let's go. Fireball, a fireball buff, crit buff, meteor buff. We're killed. Let's go. Let's get more buffs. Change functionality to now apply a stack of smolder on hit. Okay. Incinerate, sped up the start of. Yes, let's go. Increase damage in the attack from 130, 150%. Added grit to the base ability. Dude, if you guys haven't watched my Sword and Shield Fire Staff video, which I still play to this day every now and again, this is a massive buff to this. We're getting a lot of buffs here to the Fire Staff, and it's going to be so much fun to play. Flame, remove the second hit, change functionality to grant a stack of empowerment for 7 seconds per target hit with the attack, 3% empowerment per. Oh, okay, never mind. That's actually a pretty huge nerf. I got so excited for it, but I didn't realize that that's actually a massive nerf to it. I mean, I guess it's a nerf to the way that I played the build. Now it's kind of an ability if you're in melee range. Okay, yeah, never mind. Everything I just said, throw it out the window. Incinerate, you're not using it still. Yeah, I think this is, in my opinion, a huge nerf. I would have kept the second hit because the second hit provided so much burst. Now you're removing basically all of its burst and just giving us some empowerment. We'll see. I'm sure people will try it out, and maybe it's better than I'm thinking. But Fire Staff, you don't want to be that close anyway. But maybe, oh my God, here's the burnout changes. Maybe we'll see builds that are running like Flamethrower and Incinerate with burnout. I doubt it because Fireball's so good, but we definitely could. So we'll continue watching, and maybe just without burnout. But let's go burnout. This is a big one. So I haven't looked at it here. What I want to see here, I see there's 3 changes. I want it to go faster, but shorter. That's kind of, I want it to be better. Get away tool. We'll see. Set the distance increase upgrade to be the base movement distance. Okay. Update the damage over time effects to be applied to the same smolder that the rest of the weapons use. Okay. Increase damage. So burnout might be just something you don't use. Actually, probably now, this is basically no upgrade or anything for burnout. This is just probably something you don't use now, more than likely. So, but that's okay. We got a lot of upgrades through here. So yeah, that's not what I wanted to see, but hey, it is what it is. All right, so we have Heat It Up upgrade. Change functionality to be the ability triggers an explosion right as the ability ends. Okay, that might be kind of fun to see, so we'll have to maybe try it out. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of buffs to the other abilities, so burnout might not be used. All right, we got passive updates. So Spell Focus, combine functionality of Spell Focus and Flare into one passive. Heavies don't consume mana, but grant 5% mana on hit. That is a good, both those passives were very lackluster, so now we have something pretty decent. Singed, changed from just light and heavy, or changed from just lights to light and heavy. Okay, I like the Singe passive. I take it a lot. I do a lot of light attacks because the heavy attacks on Fire Staff just are very lackluster. Flare, updated functionality to now trigger a 1 meter splash at impact. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yes, let's go. Oh, man, this is going to be awesome. Reworked to be, so I wonder if, imagine this is just heavy attacks, but we'll have to see when we get on the PTR. Reworked to be an increased damage 10% versus burning enemies. Okay, I don't remember. Let's go to New World fans. Let's go to the builder and let's just create a new one. I gotta remember how to work this thing. All right, so we have the Pyromania while holding the Fire Staff below 50% max health, increase 15% crit. Oh, yeah, so this passive you didn't proc that often. So now rework this ability to increase 10% versus burning enemies, which that's, in my opinion, you're losing 5% damage, but you're gaining 10% damage almost all the time. So that's a pretty nice little buff. Heat Up, rework to dodging through an attack, inflicts a stack of burn on target. Let's see what that is. I imagine it's like right down here. Watch it burn, kindle. Here it is. When you block, oh yeah, I mean, you're not gonna really use any of these. But is it, well, hold on, let's see. You're probably never gonna use this ability, but it's better than what it was, so that's cool because we don't block anyway. Change activation conditions from being hit to target within 4 meters of the player. Increase base damage over time from 5 to 20%. Trial by fire is this passive right here. Yeah. When you're struck 5%. I mean, this is a massive buff to this. Increase damage over time, damage from 5% to 20%. Decrease the duration from 10 to 5%. Decrease the cooldown from. I mean, this is actually pretty good. Like, they're trying to go to, like, you're gonna have to distinguish yourself, whether it be like a ranged caster or a melee you know, type of fire staff. So that's pretty cool. I like that they're really separating themselves and giving some passes if you want to play both. Updated all tooltips, refers to the specific smolder. Okay, cool. Ultimate abilities. Yes, they needed a change to both of these. Let's see if they're good. Runa Helios, increase radius from AoE to 2 to 4, and reduce damage bonus from 20. Oh, this is, I mean, who cares? We don't stand in our circles anyway, so yeah, who cares about that passive? Reheat ultimate change to hitting a target with a heavy attack that has 5 stacks of burn will pop all burn stack. Oh, yes! Yes, here we go. Here we go. This is the new ultimate we are taking. We want, now that means we're gonna have to take the melee side of it somehow. We'll probably take, like, you know, oh man, this is gonna be great. Like, what do we want to take? This passive is insane. I absolutely love it. This is gonna be huge for PvE too. Remember I was talking about that flamethrower build? So you might want to just go like, we'll get flamethrower. We're gonna have to take like all these stacks. Remember, this is gonna be on just if somebody's there. Boom. Let's see, can we take a passive out? This doesn't see 1, 2, see what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have to pick one of these. We'll say that. Yeah, who really cares? We'll figure out which passive here. So we can take, if you just take flamethrower, you can take all of those, and then you can go like, you know, we can go down here and get meteor and our new fireball. You don't want that passive, but we'll be able to run a tree similar to this. I mean, obviously this isn't the actual tree, but we're able to run a flamethrower, fireball, meteor shower inside expeditions, and it's actually going to be good. Like, everybody talk about the Bane changes, but they didn't talk about is the massive changes coming to the fire staff. This is going to be crazy fun. Oh man, this is a huge change. This change, meh. I mean, it is double the radius of it, but we don't really stand there. I mean, I guess what you could do is, if you're not running burnout specific, burnout really throws this ability off anyway, but if you're not running burnout and you're running something like, let's say, pillar, meteor, fireball, you now can put down Helios on your spell casts and then dodge back into it, because it's going to be a lot bigger now to cast like your other spell. So it'd be nice for like meteor shower, for instance, putting it down when you start the cast, you're going to be inside your Runa Helios. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean, huge changes to the fire staff. We have other stuff down here too. I can't wait. This video is going to be really long. There's some bug fixes. We're not going to really go over them too much, but I'll take a look at them and I will just tell you if there's anything in here that's good. All right, so we have some Great Axe ability changes. We have Gravity Well now considered a ranged attack. Okay. Charge updated incorrect range description. Okay, we don't really care about that. Bug fixes. Not really worried about it. Great Sword. Here we go. Ability updates. Tuned to primary in heavy attacks after homing. We heard this in the last dev update. So you're getting less honing on the Great Sword, which, I mean, they're super sticky. Updated tooltip to be more clear on target needs to be above 90%. Path of Onslaught quick charge bonus. Increase the time it takes to charge heavy attacks while in Path of Onslaught stance. Be 50% faster. Said, oh, okay, that's a big nerf. This is a massive nerf to Greatsword. This is a massive nerf to Greatsword. This is not only a nerf to its PvE damage by a significant margin. This is a nerf to its PvP as well. So I like it. I like it. I like it. Crosscut increase cooldown from 15 to 20%. Or that's a nerf again to PvE. Relentless Rush. Additive Rush update reduced the root from 1 second to 0.5 seconds. So this is probably not usable anymore. Giant Slayer passive reduced damage from 20 to 15% or 15%. Swift Onslaught passive change activation condition trigger off an ability hits to not ability activations. Okay. And then so that's actually a massive nerf. That's massive to their escapability and chase as well. And then update several of the greatsword tooltips to add clarity when stance effects changes. Okay. So that's a massive nerf to greatsword. I mean, greatsword got a big buff in the 300 passive, but got a massive nerf when it comes to here. So its damage is still gonna be pretty good, but its survivability and its escapability, its stickiness, and it's gonna lose some damage here, obviously. But yeah, some big nerfs here. Okay, abilities. Hatchet. I've been calling for Divide Death to be completely gutted the way it basically is in general, and let's see if we get it. Defy nerf reduced invincibility from 2.5% and grants 500 HP plus 50% max health upon activation. Reduced cooldown from 75 15%. So essentially, with this 0.5, you're like, why is there 0.5? This is just so the computer can go, okay, you're dead, but you're not dead. Boom, you're getting half your health back. I think half your health is a significant. Hell, I was expecting more like a 30%, but this is still going to save you in PvE situations. And in PvP situations, what this means is when you proc Defy Death, first off, you're going to very much visually see it. They're going to go back to 50%. But if you have 5 people on you, you're not going to be able to just like kill 3 of them, right? You'll still be like insta clap. So I think this is a good change. The intent of this change is to prevent Divide Death from being a risk-free situation. Exactly. All right, we have Fortifying Strike's change activation condition from 3 consecutive light attacks to 1 heavy attack. Oh, that's a horrible nerf. That's a huge nerf to the fire, or the especially for like PvE. And Rage Strikes changes ability from all base attacks to heavy attacks. So they want to go to a heavy attack. So they're pretty much gutting the PvE side of this with these. And then Berserker's Refresh upgrade updated to be 5% lifesteal while Berserk is active instead of 5% granting flat life. That's a pretty big nerf as well. And then Desperate Refresh set up a capped 5 indicators per attack and a cooldown reduction passive, much smaller and similar. Okay. I mean, pretty big nerfs to the hatchet and greatsword here. So interesting. So we have Ice Gauntlet. Ice Pylon added the ability to despawn Ice Pylon by holding the ability input for 1 second. I like that change. Added Ice Pylon health details to the description. Entomb, updated description to include dodge as a way to exit Entomb, which we know that, but it's a nice little clarification. Added Entomb health to the description. Windchill added the ability input delay of 0.6 after to avoid accidental cancellations. Okay, so there's apparently some like animation cancels or something like that you can do with Windchill. No one uses this ability. It's completely useless, so we don't really care about that. Passive updates. Cold Reach updated the distance from targets from being further than 15 away to within 15 meters of the target. Okay, so they're wanting you to play more of a melee play style, which doesn't affect most of the builds, but this is a little bit of nerf to if you want to run the Fire Staff Ice Gauntlet. Empowered Frost, increase mana gain while performing an attack while inside the frost areas from 3 to 6. Okay. And then we get bug fixes. Life Staff. All right, ability updates. Absolve. Passive update to be heavy attacks only since all magic weapons no longer consume light attacks. Little clarification there. Remove the requirement connection between the absolute mending touch and blissful touch passives and the healing life trap tree. I'm not sure how that affects. Oh, we got Sacred Ground update. Holy Ground reduce the power of increased stamina regen rate from 50 to, ooh, that's a pretty big nerf to Sacred Ground. I mean, Sacred Ground is absolutely crazy insane. So that is a nerf, but I mean, you're never gonna go without Sacred Ground. So I mean, still pretty massive ability. All right, Musket. Let's see what they did to Musket. We know part of it, but let's see the rest of it. So traps adjusted the cooldown to only trigger after the start of the attack. Adjusted the cooldown to only trigger the start of the attack, so that if the ability is interrupted prior to the 1 frame before the toss occurs, the ability no longer go on. Okay, that's just a nice little buff there. Tuned aim down sight accuracy to reduce effectiveness of rapid long shots. Accuracy will be reduced when moving and aiming quickly. Okay, this is just they're really digging into the sit up on the rock playstyle, which I wanted them to go the exact opposite way. This is still a nerf to the musket, but I would have much preferred them not go to the playstyle that absolutely everybody in the game has ever hated of the, oh, I'm gonna sit back, you cannot do anything to me, sit on a rock playstyle. But you know, they are double, tripling, quadrupling down on, we want you to just take off every player in the game. So I love that change. That's sarcasm. New passive, steady. I mean, I'm glad they're getting a nerf, but I would just love I'd love to be able to use the musket and not feel like an absolute like D-bag. So and not piss everybody off because you're just sitting up on a rock. And now they're like, yeah, you know, the musket players that were, you know, semi okay to try to kill because they're like running around. Yeah, screw you guys. No, sit up on a rock. We want you to absolutely just annoy every player in the history of the earth by being completely untouchable. Sit up on a rock, hide, play a little hidey hole, and yeah. All right, new passive, Steady Hand, replaces Ballistic Advantage. Increased accuracy of any musket shot when aimed down sights is maintained for 2 seconds. Increased accuracy, reset shot after fired. A Steady Hand path increase or activates in 1 second and resets on shot while in shooter stance. Greater accuracy. Updated to remove accuracy penalty from hip shots. And then updated the musket's aiming reticle appearance to better function with the musket's accuracy system. We'll have to see. They didn't nerf any of its damage. We haven't seen Mortal Empowerment nerf here, so there's going to be a nerf there. But you're just going to be not as easy, and it's going to be harder to hit people. But I hate that they're tripling down on this sit on a rock play style, but it is what it is. Then we got some bug fixes. Sword and Shield, just bug fixes. Void Gauntlet, Void Blade, add the ability input delay of 0.6 seconds after the ability starts to avoid animation cancels. Tether, ability no one ever uses. Buffs and debuffs now start at maximum values and no longer scale up. Increase projectile size from 0.4 to 0.5. Increase impact damage from 10 to 100%. Okay, maybe we get some little bit of damage on Baleful Tether. Let's go. And added damage text to the tooltips. Increase tether range from 15 to 20%. We're still not using this ability, but I like it. This might could. I mean, maybe this could be something you use in PvE. Tether focus upgrade, increased mana regen, cool. Change tooltip to conditions to tether when the end is broken. All right, rupture, increased impact from 50 to 100%. Okay, I like a little damage upgrade here. And added damage text to the tooltip, increased projectile size from 33 to 5 or 33 to 50 here, and then increased projectile speed by 50%. Okay, I like that. I mean, it's probably not going to be used still, just because the way the ability functions. I think it's a cool theory in theory, but you know, you have Scream and well, Oblivion in every situation is just a must-have. But yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty big nerf if I remember to Oblivion. Updated Invigorated Oblivion to grant 25% stamina regen instead of granting a flat amount of stamina per second, which is actually a pretty big. That's actually a massive nerf, by the way. If you didn't know, stamina regen is significantly less than straight stamina back. So. All right, we have passive upgrades. Remove the condition of being below 25% to change health drain reduction from 50 to 35. Okay. Updated the condition to be against targets with an active debuff and made it work with both light and heavy attacks. Oh, that okay. That's the let's look at Void Gauntlet here. Let's go Fire Staff, Void Gauntlet. I think it's this. No. Where's that passive? It's called Deadly Range. Is that that's on the left side of the tree? No, Deadly Range. 10% damage to successful heavy attacks against worthy meters. That's just giving a buff to the damage on light attacks. Okay. I didn't really heavy attack on it much anyway, so that's cool. And I mean, you do heavy attack on it, but it's mainly light attacks. That's a nice little upgrade. And then we have Fervent Thirst upgraded to work on both light and heavy. Fervent Thirst. Is that the healing one? It is not the healing one. What's Fervent Thirst? See, I know the passives, what they do. Was it this one? Fervent Thirst. Oh, yeah. Okay. We really don't care about that much. I mean, it's nice. I mean, it's a mana intensive ability, but not a big deal. Cleansing Harvest replaces with Refreshing Harvest. Change the functionality to be Harvest Essence. Remove 1 debuff from self. Okay, that's cool. Leeching Bolts remove the target health percent condition. Reduce the amount of bonus healing by 30 to 20%. Okay, and then Extended Suffering updated to work on both light and heavy attacks. Cool. All right, man, we have a lot. This build is going to be super long. So we have Empowering Meteor Shower to compensate for power increase across the board. For Fire Staff, the Empowered Meteor Shower perk duration was reduced from 10 to 6 seconds, and it no longer refreshes the duration of stack. Yep. I mean, this is crazy. This is crazy good. I mean, Meteor Shower is going to be very good. So get your Meteor Shower gear right now because it is going to be very good. Empowering Incinerate, rename this from Stable Incinerate to Empowering Incinerate. Removed Grit from the perk, made it the base ability. Increased max damage from 3 to 12%. 20% on weapons. from 4 to 17%, 30% of weapons, but added a condition against targets with burn status effect. So there's a nice little buff to Empowering Incinerate. Powered Fireball updated activation conditions to be against targets above 50%, change from due to an additional power added to the base ability, and having that big of a flat damage bonus on a perk was greatly and strong. So I mean, that's good. We might be going to more base weapons, but I mean, it's still very, very good. I mean, Fire Staff got some massive love. Efficient Burnout, rename the perk to Fortifying Burnout, change functionality to grant a stack 3 to 8% of Fortify for each target hit with the attack. Reduce accuracy bonus of perk by 50%. Cool. Immortal Empowerment, updated to only last for 2 minutes. Remove the ability duration to be refreshed on each kill. Reduces stacks. What? Remove the ability for the duration to be refreshed for each kill. What the? Mortal Empowerment gone. Mortal Empowerment gone. Only lasts 2 minutes and remove the ability for the duration to be refreshed for each kill. What? I mean, I'm okay with this, to be fair, but oh my God, this is the biggest nerf to an ability I think I've ever seen. Like, this is, you guys wanted Mortal Empowerment to not be a thing. It's gone. Just, you know, Invigorated Punishment, if you have Invig stuff, that just went through the roof. Crazy high. I don't think this this isn't even good on bow musket anymore. I think this is going to get changed. I think this is too big of a nerf. I was thinking they would just cut the stacks down. Maybe update this to only last like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But holy crap. This is a massive nerf. I'm okay with it. I would be okay if they deleted it from the game, to be fair. And that's somebody who actually, I have a few Mortal Empowerment BIS items, but wow. I'm excited to see that. I don't think that's going to stay, but I'd be completely okay. And I think most people would be completely okay if that stays. Transient Recovery, reduce the power of the Life Seal charges from 10 to 40% based on geared score to 5 to 20%. Okay, so cutting it in 50%. Refreshing, move on Refreshing Torrent. Set a 0.2 second cooldown so they no longer instances of cooldown. Okay, that's a big nerf to Refreshing Torrent. All creature family Bane perks updated to deal 10% max damage when wait, what? Update to deal 10% additional. Okay, I thought for a second it's just 10%. So okay, so cool. We knew this was coming. They said it in the dev update. So if you have ranged attacks here or on magic, which is nice because Void Blade, you know, you have a couple melee in Incinerate, stuff like that. Got a massive buff, dude. Fire Staff is OP now. Like, I mean, Blunder could be decent too. Bow gonna be really good, or gonna be okay in Corrupted. But Fire Staff is going to be meta for DPS, like PvE DPS. You're going to want a Fire Staff. Like, I mean, it got such a massive buff, which I'm okay with. I love it. I think they maybe buffed it too much for PvE, but we'll see. It's okay if it's, you know, I'd prefer melee to still do more. And Greatsword will probably still do more damage. Hatchet did get a lot of nerfs. So we're probably going to see Hatchet kind of take a step back. I mean, it's still going to be good. Spear got a nice buff. But yeah, we knew this was coming. Refreshing Rupture updated the tooltip to use cooldown instead of recharge. Okay. Exhausting Infected Throw updated the tooltip to remove any necessary negative symbols. Okay. Notable fixes. Fixed an issue where Stamina Recovery Amulet perk did not mention that activated condition was for their health to be below 50. Wait, what? Where the Stamina Recovery Amulet perk did not mention that the activation condition was for their health to be below 50. I'm assuming they mean 50% here, but that's not the way it currently works. I'm almost positive this is not the way that ability currently works. I'll have to check on that. So we're not going to talk too much about that, but Yeah, we'll see. Fixing an issue where fortified sacred ground perk functionality would persist after weapon swap if the perk was on armor. Functionality would persist. What? So fortifying sacred ground is not going to last if it's on your armor. That's a huge nerf. That's a huge nerf. Okay. Fixing issue where various food items did not have the durations extended when using the last consumption. Cool. Fixed a bug where gem damage conversion was not taken into account for calculating damage fall off based on distance for ranged weapons. Okay. Fixed an issue where higher tier of ammo was not increasing the damage provided by an elemental gem. Nice. Heart Room, fixed an issue where Heart Room attack damage would not be reduced when aversion perks. Okay. Game modes, wars. Target enemies will not be attacked during wars. This was a massive change that needed to happen. Defenders can now select spawn points inside fort. Nice. Attacker siege weapons. Blueprints for tier 2 and tier 3 now auto build themselves when being placed. Outpost rush increase the amount of individual score players get while capturing OPR or contesting points. Remove duplicate kill confirmation messages when you kill another player. Some arena fixes. PvP arenas. Fix an issue. Cranberry compote will now no longer be used in PvP arenas. Okay. Invasions. And all right, here we go. So we have some economy, progression, and gear. The quest corruption tinged fish no longer gives basic attack perk. Or hold on. The quest corruption tinged fish no longer gives a basic no perk gear score 500 ironwood fishing pole. Okay, we're just gonna go through these and I'll let you know if anything's of note. Okay, there's actually some absolutely massive changes in here. Okay, first we're gonna go down here. Added the perk resilient to possibly as a possible perk when crafting items using the Summer Medley Fair crafting patterns. This affects our colorful kraken. So these were great. They were very cheap ways to craft items, but the problem was you had to roll resilient on them because it couldn't roll resilient. So now they put it into the pool so you can have a cheap way to try to get some of your best items. So that's a great change here. Now, most of the patterns have been ate up, but these patterns could probably see a little increase here. We have the ammunition change to where we're going to get, a tier 5 ammo. Now, if you're up there, they did make some changes where if you're under level 50, you're not going to get the reward, or under 60, you're not going to get the rewards for doing level 60 content, which is fine. The big thing here, absolutely massive thing, added a function to allow procedurally generated epic items. So I believe this means basically dropped and stuff like that. So not crafted epic items to be upgraded to 600 gear score and roll an additional perk. Massive. Keep it coming. Now, the only thing that sucks about here is because they're procedurally generated. Now, we haven't gotten to the crafting section, so we will see there. But this means that this is a nerf to crafting because, and it's a nerf to some, like, if you want attunement on your weapon, you're kind of shit out of luck now, right? Like, attunement on your weapon is, if you need that, then that's something just can't roll. But that's a great increase, especially armor. You find armor out there that's like good 2 perk, especially your OPR caches and stuff like that. You always are getting good 2 perkers, right? But you rarely ever get a good 3 perk. So I believe this means we'll be able to upgrade those, but we will see. Progression and gear. All right, this could be massive. The named bow Torrent has had a name changed to Rainstorm to differentiate from the named Greatsword. Okay, we'll go through these, and if there's anything good, again, I will let you know.